Hello everyone, hope you are well. It's been a little bit of a time since I've done a video, but I went and played a Korg Kronos this weekend, and yeah, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and a little bit of a journey and how that went, and do some other little updates as well. So, Saturday just gone. I'm mindful the day I'm going to upload this, all being well, is going to be Tuesday, so sometime this evening. And yeah, Saturday I did a little bit of a silly journey. I was going to drive, but quite frankly, the area that I was going to drive to, somewhere unknown, and I'm not the most confident driver, so I ended up getting an incredibly long bus. I chucked a movie on whilst I was on the bus, got some food, and then bus again to this lovely little music shop. I will shout out the name of it at some point, should I end up getting a keyboard. I don't want to inadvertently dox myself. But yeah, it was in the northwest of the UK, and it was probably one of the best days out I've had in a long time. So if that person ends up watching this video, thank you very much. But yeah, had all sorts of gear in. They had the new Nord Stage 4, they had loads of Yamaha stuff in, and yeah, it's just an absolutely lovely day. I'd emailed them beforehand and said, any chance you've got a Korg Kronos out on display? He said, yes, you can come in and play it all day long. And I thought, magic. So I did pretty much that, minus the whole day thing. I would spent about an hour and a half there. I got to get super hands-on with it. I wasn't going to sit and record myself playing it, because that is really narcissistic and weird in another music shop. But honestly, just want to kind of go through my top takeaway features. I love the action of it. I know some people, it's quite hit or miss. It feels quite a bit heavier than the Fatar action that I'm used to on the Nord stage, which is good. And yeah, it's not as big or as bulky as I thought it was going to be. I was playing around with a lot of the string samples and the engine and stuff, and the sounds on it were fantastic. I got to have a proper little play about with the absolutely mad interface, which I know is the thing that puts everyone off it, but to be honest, didn't think it was that bad. A lot of it does seem quite intuitive, especially coming from like the workstation world in terms of actual DAW like Cubase. But yeah, like some of the string sounds and the synth sounds are absolutely lovely. And yeah, it's just the action surprised me, because I know a lot of people, myself included, are really funny over piano action, but the piano action is, for me, substantially better than my Nord Stage 3 Fatar action, which is, it's okay. It's not the best thing ever. But it was interesting because they had all sorts of other keyboards in there. They had an RD2000, which I used to have. Fantastic action. And playing that for a little bit, I thought, ooh, maybe I'm then going to not like the Korg RH3 action. But actually, like, I found myself liking the RH3 action just as much. It's not quite got that nice little tactile bump where you've got the let off on the key. But I thought it's heavier than what I've got, and it still felt and looked nice. And yeah, I was running through all sorts of orchestral patches, playing with the Vector. I think the pitch bend thing is going to be quite a challenge. But yeah, as a kind of sound design engine and tool, I can just picture myself kind of like sat in another part of the house without my keyboard and my computer and my screens, actually just composing quite naturally and organically. Only problem I've got at the moment is space. So it's, if I get the Kronos, is then the Nord Stage 3 going to become redundant? Most likely, yes. What about the Nord Wave 2 behind me this way? Christ. That's probably also going to become slightly redundant, but it was interesting. So with the Nord Stage 3, apparently, whether this is true or not, and this is very much what the lovely fellow I was speaking to in the store was saying, is the Nord Stage 3 actions, the cost for them to service them is about £450. Really easy to do and kind of get done, but there's just that cost, which we both said quite honestly, considering how cheap the actual keyboard is, it's a bit of a tax for playing a premium instrument. It got us talking about other different things, other instruments, Rolands, for example. I've had nothing but trouble with Roland instruments. I've not got anything against them, but the ones that I've had, I've always had issues with them on arrival. And he's talking a little bit more about the return to manufacturing process and the aftercare and such. And it's interesting because we both very much agreed that the Roland product care is quite poor from like a customer service perspective. And for them, dealing with an actual dealer and a manufacturer direct was quite interesting. And what we talked about a little bit was, obviously, I talked about the Kawai experience I had, and it was very much saying the Kawai keyboard, whilst they're fantastic, the customer service, and what was quite funny is we talked about my replacement process. The fella who actually repaired it, he knew, and he'd done some work for theirs. I thought, a small world. And he said it's nothing but trouble. And I think the actual engineer has moved away from Kawai keyboards as a result. So that was quite an interesting little conversation. But yeah, one of the things that was apparent is how highly Yamaha keyboards are sought after, and in terms of the customer service and customer support side of it. Said even though some other products on the market are much better in some senses, the one thing that people don't really factor when buying a keyboard is actually, if something goes wrong with it, how easy is it to fix? And he said from experience, Yamaha is easily the best. Like, it's no competition. And then Korg was like a second place, and then some of the other manufacturers like Casio, etc. was underneath. Roland, Kawai, I think it's Kawai, Roland in that order, which I thought was really, really interesting. So yeah, I won't say everything else he told me because I'm mindful that this may go wider. But really, really interesting little day out. And yeah, just thought I would share where I'm at. I'm in a bit of a weird spot now because if I do get the Kronos, it's not a matter of if, more of a when, to be honest. I'm going to do Kronos videos to death, much like I have with my Nord. If I can, I want to keep both so I can do some comparison videos and, you know, try and do all that type of stuff, but it's hard. You can see I'm already started demoing. I'm going to probably have the Nord Stage 3 underneath it here and the Kronos up front, if I do manage to keep them both, but lots of life events happening at the moment, so I need to try and be sensible as well. So yeah, maybe it's my birthday this month, so I'm kind of like, we'll see what happens. If I get any donos, they're going to go straight towards helping me keep all my instruments, because I love them all very much. I don't want to part with any of them, but yeah, got to be sensible as well and mindful of space and such. But yeah, other stuff that's been going on. Currently doing some videos. They're really, really quite complex, lengthy videos on piano tech versus the Nord. I'm going to look at trying to get Keyscape next month if I can and compare that, because piano tech's really interesting. I'm a bit limited by the Nord Stage 3 in terms of the action and the responsiveness of it. So that's going to be interesting. I've spent about a week trying to dial that in. And some of the things I'm doing is looking at playing a piece in and then playing it back via MIDI for the keyboard, so you get a like-for-like comparison. And it's really interesting because I think the piano tech sound that I've got is a lot more responsive and realistic than the Nord is, but the Nord sounds nicer. And I think it'll be really interesting to see what people's thoughts on which is better, and you know. And I think that's it. That video, it's already about 45 minutes long, to be honest. It's really comprehensive, like, analysis. But by the time I get the Keyscape stuff in there as well, I think it might be too big of a video. So I'm going to end up doing lots of different edits. There'll be loads of shorts and all that type of stuff. So yeah, look forward to that one. Money is a bit of a barrier at the moment, so I can't just do all these things at once. And yeah, I've got circumstances coming up in my life, which means I'm not going to be around as much. And yeah, that is that. I'll keep it a short, sweet little update. But yeah, thanks for watching. Any questions or anything you want to ask, do let me know. Please do me a favour and do all the cringeworthy liking, comments, subscribing, all that stuff. It massively helps the algorithm and the channel and all that stuff. And yeah, if you do want to look at supporting me towards keeping my gear or funding whatever, there are links. Got coffee and buy me a coffee donations are available. So if you do want to support direct, you don't have to, but the links are below. So have a look at those if you do want to look at helping me fund my next little project. But I'm mindful that literally no one has clicked any of those things, so people might not be aware. So that's it. I'll shut up about it. But yeah, thank you very much. Have a lovely rest of the day wherever you are. And yeah, look forward to seeing you on the next one.